Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar. And my name is Uma Maheshwari. I work here at Syncfusion as a product manager, handling few of the web products like Scheduler and few of the tools. Let's see about today's agenda. First, we'll see how to make a real-time update in a Blazor WebAssembly application using SignalR connection. Today in this webinar, I'm going to make use of Blazor Scheduler to show how the SignalR helps in making the real-time updates. And then we'll see what are the new stuffs that are included in Blazor and Essential JS2 components for the last volume 1 2023 release. So let's move on to the topic now. All right. We'll see directly how to make such real-time updates. So first I'll show you the demo, what we are going to build actually today. Let me play this. So, but before that, I'll just tell you what we are going to do today. So we'll be having a Blazor scheduler. And the thing is, whenever we make any CRUD operations on the scheduler, whichever clients are connected, will get the changes reflected immediately. So say, for example, I have kept 3 browser instances here. So whenever I make update in the first scheduler, it will automatically reflected in the other 2 instances immediately without I refresh the browser. So let me play this and you can see the action here. So I'm just bypassing the login or authentication kind of thing in this application. So I just kept I manually entered the user for these 3 instances. So consider that Andrew is creating a new appointment. And here at the end, you can, at the bottom of these 2 instances, you can see the notification saying that Andrew added a new appointment and Brian has edited it. So other 2 instances got the notification saying Brian has edited the appointment. So here I just use the simple text, just saying that this particular appointment edited like that, but you can customize it as per your application need. So the thing is, this the client, whichever is making any change, it is invoking some server, it is invoking a method in server, and the server is invoking, I mean, it is responding back immediately to all the connected clients. So this is what happening here. So now we'll see how to build such things directly. So before that, have a look at this prerequisites. So I hope you all should have Visual Studio 2022 or later with the ASP.NET and web development workload installed, and you should have this .NET latest version installed. So, all right, so I'll open the Visual Studio and let's begin to build this application now. I'll create a new project, Blazor WebAssembly project. Let me give it a name, Blazor Scheduler, some relevant project name. And I'll go with .NET 6.0 framework. And here, make sure ASP.NET Core hosted is checked. Let's wait for a moment till this project gets created. Actually, 3 projects, that is server, client, and shared projects will get created. So whatever UI things that we are going to design will be handling in the client project. And yes, the client, I mean, the application got created. So here you can see 3 projects, client, server, and shared. In the shared project, I'm going to maintain the model class that I'm going to make use of in this project. And in the server project, I'm going to create the SignalR Hub. And also I'll be creating a controller to access the data for scheduler. And in the client project, I'm going to add the Blazor scheduler. So first I'll start with adding a Blazor scheduler and just ensure whether it is getting displayed in the browser first. Before I'm moving on to the SignalR concept, I'll do that first. So I hope you all might be knowing how to get started with the Blazor scheduler component. If not, you can also watch our getting started tutorials. But today I'll just go on with the simple minimal properties to uh, render the scheduler. So I'll just, as a first step, I need to install the Blazor scheduler package. So in the NuGet package, make use of the Syncfusion Blazor scheduler. I'll browse for Syncfusion Blazor scheduler, and here you can see the package. Let me install it. So it is installed. And one more thing I have to install here, that is nothing but the themes package. So this will include the themes for all the Syncfusion components. So all right, so I need these two packages to make use of Blazor scheduler. And next, in the program.cs file of this client project, let me add the namespace syncfusion.blazor. Here I need to register the I need to make a call to the add Syncfusion Blazor method so that I can start to use the Syncfusion Blazor components in this project. So let me make a call to add Syncfusion Blazor. Services to add Syncfusion Blazor. And I'm also registering the license key here just to get rid of the warning message. I have my trial license key. So I have that copied in my local file. So next to the imports.razor file, here I'll add the namespace of scheduler. As I said, I'm going to use the control in the index razor. So one more step is inside the www root folder, open this index.html, and here I need to refer the required CSS and the scripts for rendering the Blazor components, Syncfusion Blazor components. So I'm referring these two things, that is styles and scripts from the static assets. So that's all about the things required for rendering our Syncfusion Blazor components. Now I'll open index component. And here.
Also, sorry to interrupt you, but we had a question if you would please increase the font size slightly.
Okay, sorry, really, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. All right, cool. Yeah, Serge, please let us know if that works better for you.
So is it good to go?
Yep, that looks good. Yeah, we can move forward. Sorry for interrupting, Uma. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now I'll add the scheduler component, SF schedule, and setting some custom height to it, say 550 pixel. And I need to add the T value. So just to check it initially, I'll just pass the object type. Now let's check whether the scheduler is rendering on the browser. So now we should get the empty scheduler displaying on the output. So let us wait. Yeah, now we got the scheduler. So let's move on to add appointments to this scheduler now. So for that, as I said, inside the shared project, I'll add a model class for scheduler. I'll give it a name, app data. So I'm going to use just a very minimal fields for rendering the appointment data. I mean, appointment on the scheduler. So for that, I'm going to use these 4 fields. There are a few more fields available, like for recurrence and all other scheduler stuffs. So we are not going to focus on that much about that in this session. So just ID, subject, start time, and end time. So this is enough to render an appointment on the scheduler. Now inside the server project, I'm going to add a empty API controller. And I give it a name again, app data. So here is I'm going to use HTTP GET. So these are all the, I'm just copying the basic things here because we are going to focus much on the SignalR part. But here I'm just adding a single appointment data with the fields ID, subject, start time, and the end time. So I'm just returning this data source here from the controller. Now let's move on to the client project, and here let's make a call to that. Let's access that data from here inside the code section. So again, So here I just define the private variable for data source. Let me add the shared project namespace here. So also I'm just making a HTTP GET call. So I need to inject HTTP client. So here you can see to this data source variable, I'm just making a call to the get method that is defined in the app data controller. Here I have just passed the app data controller name. So now I need to assign this data source variable to the scheduler data source property. Scheduler have the property event settings, that is schedule event settings, and the sub property to the data source property, I'll be assigning this variable. And one more thing is now I'll change this object type to app data. Now let's check whether the appointment is rendering. Yes, so we saw that we have just provided single appointment that is rendered from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. All right. Now we have rendered the Blazor scheduler. So the scheduler part is done. And the next thing is I'm going to create the SignalR Hub. So before that, in the client project, one more package I need to install. That is SignalR client, Microsoft ASP.NET Core.SignalR.client. So I'll just install it. This should be installed in the client project. Before we start to create the hub, SignalR Hub in the server project. All right, so the SignalR client is installed in client project. Now moving on to the server project, I'll add a new folder, hubs, and keep the SignalR Hub class inside this folder. So I'll add a class and name it as Scheduler Hub. And this class should inherit the SignalR Hub. So use the namespace of SignalR. And inside this class, I'm going to define a server method with the name with the required. I can give it any name. So here I'm just going to create a method named send data. So that will act as a server side method. So whenever a client makes a request to the server, this send data method will be called, and inside this method I will again I will broadcast the changes to all other clients. So let me first add the code, and then I'll be explaining you about that. So public async task, as I said, I'm just naming this method as send data, and this data will be receiving 4 arguments, that is username. So this user will include the name which we used to type in the input box. So we will be shortly creating that in the Razor component. And three more arguments. As I said, we are going to handle only the CRUD operations. That is, whenever we add the appointment to the scheduler, edit an appointment or delete an appointment. So for these three actions, I'm just going to create three parameters here. I mean, three, say, added data. Change data and deleted data. So as I said, the client will invoke this method. So the client will pass all these information, the username and whatever appointment that is added or changed or deleted. If the appointment is added, it will contain the that appointment object. And at that particular time, both these parameters will be of null values. So it won't have any values. So here inside this method, I will make a call to client's property. And here I'll go with others. You can also make use of all here, but as I showed you in the initial clipping, whenever say for example there are three users A, B, and C. If A sends if A performs any action, that action should be reflected on other two instances. So that's why I'm going to make use of going to invoke this others. Send async. And here inside this method, I need to pass the method name, which I should invoke at the client side. So I'll just provide a name as receive data. So I'll be defining this method at the client side shortly. So first let's finish off this code here. And also I pass rest of the parameters here in this client. So this is async method. So let me add a white keyword. All right. So this is the server side method, send data. We have added this, and next we'll see the configuration steps to make use of SignalR. So in the program.cs file, in the same server project, the first step is I need to register the SignalR service. So builder.services.add SignalR method. And then I also need to use the middleware service for the responses. So let me copy that. I have kept it in the notepad. So also, after the app is built, I also need to make a call to use response compression. Then I need to add the endpoint for the hub. So the hub that we created now, I have to add a endpoint. So between these two endpoints for controller and client side fallback, I'll So here I need to pass the SignalR class, and here I should give a name to this endpoint as SignalR Hub. So this endpoint I will be making use of in the client side project. So the SignalR configurations are done. Now let's move on to the client project. Now we have to initialize the SignalR connection and start the connection as well. So inside this index component, now I'm going to start the SignalR connection inside this onInitialized async method. So first I'll create an instance for hub connection. I need to add the namespace SignalR client here. Now inside this onInitialized async method, I'll initialize hub connection builder. I need to specify the URL. So the endpoint which we have created in the server side. So I need to get the absolute URL here. So let me inject navigation manager here. To handle the URI navigation. So here inside this with URL, navigation dot to absolute URI. I'll pass that endpoint name and then build it. So next I can start it immediately after initializing it. So connection dot start async. All right. So now we have started the connection. The next step is when should we call the when the server side method should be called. We have created that send data method in server side, right? So how to call that method and when it should be called. So as I said, that method should be called only when the CRUD operations are performed on the scheduler. So what I'm going to do is we have the event on action completed. So you I mean, that particular event of scheduler will trigger whenever any action is performed on the scheduler. Say whatever action if you perform any navigation on the scheduler, or if you perform CRUD or date change, whatever actions that you perform on Blazor scheduler of Syncfusion, action completed event will get triggered. So I'm going to make use of that event. And I'll be getting some action type inside this inside the arguments of this event. So by checking that, only when the CRUD actions are performed on the scheduler, at that time I will invoke the server-side method. Okay, so I'll be defining this method now. So before proceeding, I'll just pass the t-value property here as well. Just pass app data so that I can access the fields inside the event arguments. So inside the code section, I'll define a method. I'll define that method here. Which takes in the argument of type action event args. And here I can pass the app data class and args. So here I will check the condition. So inside this arguments, I can get the action type. So args dot action type, if it is equal to event create. Event create is nothing but if I create an appointment. I'll be checking three conditions. Equal to action type dot event change or args dot action type equals action type dot event remove. So based on that condition, now I'll use this connection instance and invoke the server-side method. So connection dot, I'll use invoke async, and here I'll pass the method name send data. So this is same as this should be same which we have created in the server project. So comma, and here I need to pass the username. So I create a variable for now. So we'll be, I mean, I will create a input element now and pass this variable. I mean, I will bind this variable to it. So for now, I'll pass this variable here, username, and again from the arguments args, I can get added records. So in this argument, I mean added records, if I add a appointment, I can get that particular newly added appointment object in this added records object. So in the same way, I will add changed records and deleted records. So these are all available in this argument, action event args argument. So whenever any CRUD action, I mean add, edit or delete is performed on the scheduler, you will be getting that particular record in these added records, changed records or deleted records object. Now we have made a call. We have made a call to the server side method. Now we have to handle the. I mean, now we have to handle this receive data at the client side. So again, to handle that, I'm going to define a handler inside this onInitialized method. So using the connection instance, I'll define a handler method. So here I need to pass let me pass the types. So there are 4 parameters. And here I'll be defining this method now. So I just added a handler so that whenever this receive data, whenever the server broadcasts the note changes to client, so this method needs to be called, and the required actions should be taken care inside this particular method. So again, I'll be defining this on data change. So here I'll define the on data change. Again with the same 4 parameters. So within this on data change, let me take a local copy of the scheduler data source here. So I'll define a local variable inside this method and get it from the data source variable. So here I'll be handling 3 conditions. So if added data is not equal to null, as well as the count should be greater than 0. So in the same way, I'll be adding 2 more conditions for changed data and deleted data. So here I'll be I'll look through this added data list. Actually, the thing is, maybe we are adding a single appointment, and we may think that could be of a simple object instead of list. But the thing is, scheduler is capable of handling multiple appointments at the same time. Say for example, if you are working with resources or multiple resources concept, at that time you can add more than 2 appointments at the same time. So whenever you perform CRUD operations with multiple resources, there are chances that you may add 2 appointments at the same time. I mean, the same appointment for 2 resources. So it will be created as 2 instances. So for that purpose, it is usually received as an array of objects here. So that's the main reason I'm just looping it looping that particular variable here. So app data. Okay. So here what I'll do is I'll add that new data into this local copy. So at the end of this on data change method, I will be modifying the data source. That is the actual data source variable, which is bind to the scheduler. I will be uh, I'll be assigning this particular app data local copy to that. So whatever changes that I make, that will be reflected in this local variable app data, and it will be assigned to the data source. And again, I'll be re-rendering the entire scheduler so that the completely modified data source will get reflected in all the scheduler. So here app data dot add. So I'll be adding that. So in the same way, I'll be using for each inside other conditions as well with its own appropriate variables. So here first I need to fetch the appointment from this local copy to find whether the data is already existing in it. So I should get that. So I'll be finding the index of from this app data collection, find index. Now, if the index is greater than or equal to 0, then I will assign that modified data to the record at that particular index. So here again, I'll find the even inside this deleted data condition. So I'll be finding the index, and once we find the record, we have to remove it from the collection. So app data dot remove it. I'll pass the index. So after all these conditions, now to the data source variable, I'll be assigning this local variable app data. And I'll also make a call to state has changed uh, to re-render the components. All right. So as I said, now just I create that input element now. And I'll bind this username variable here. So whenever I type in some value, that will be updated to the username variable. Now let's check. So first, let's check whether the changes are getting reflected. So yes, so here you can see if I have added in one instance and it is automatically reflected in the next window. In the same way, if I edit here, you can see the changes immediately without refreshing the browser. So next I'll share how to notify the user that some changes has been made in the scheduler. So for that purpose, I'm just going to, I'll be using the message box component. So that's not a very difficult thing. First, before that, I'll just add a message here. I'll introduce a, so inside every action, inside every CRUD action, so first I'll be adding a message. Before that, I'll create a array of string here. And inside this on data change method, uh, let me add a local variable here. And when an appointment is added, so I'll just pass the, I'll just mention added a new appointment with subject. You can add your own text here. I'm just showing it for reference. So data.subject. And I'll just copy paste the same thing here, but with edit content. So here data.index. So here at the end of, I mean, after I assign this app data to the data source, here I'll add another line of code. to add all these messages. So what I'll do is I'll add these messages to the array variable, I mean string array, and then I'll be passing this variable to the message box component so that everything will get added up as its content. So messages.add, and using the template, so pass this user space and this message variable. So now the messages are ready. So let me add one more package, notification package. So this is required to make use of Syncfusion's message box component. So I'll install it. So in the imports.razor, just I add the namespace syncfusion.blazor.notifications, and now in the index razor, after this scheduler code, I will add SF message. I will also specify the severity because I'm just going to display it as an information. So here I need to pass one more thing I have, I mean, here we need to loop it. Actually, the messages is of type array, right? So here I need to loop it by making use of the for each. So let me add this SF message inside this for each. And as a content, I will display it inside this SF message. So let's see. Let's save it. So let's see the first instance. Let me add the user names here just for the demo purpose. So now I add the, I mean, and just consider this, and Andrew is adding an appointment. And here you can see that two other instances got the notification. And say, let's say Brian is editing this appointment, and you can see the Andrew and Charlie got the notification saying that Brian has edited it. And let's say Charlie is deleting this, and you can see the other two instances got the message saying Charlie deleted an appointment with subject meeting. So This is how you can immediately broadcast the changes to all the connected clients using the SignalR connection. So that's all about making real-time updates in a Blazor WebAssembly application using SignalR. So if you have any questions about this particular topic, you can raise it in the comment section. So I'll have a look at it at the end. So before now, let me move on to the new stuffs that are introduced in Blazor and Essential JS2 controls of Syncfusion. So, all right. So what's new in Blazor for this Volume 1 2023 release? We have moved two components from preview to production ready state. So the rating component and mention components were in the preview state earlier. Now it has been moved to the production ready state, and you can use it in your production environment. And to the data grid component, date only and time only support has been added. So you can see here in this image, there are two fields, order date and order time. So order date is of type date only, and order time is of type time only. And also to make it further more easier, we have also given built-in support for rendering the date picker for this particular for this particular field, and time picker for this particular order time field. So now you can bind and manage the date and time only values in our data grid component, Blazor data grid component. And to the tree grid component, now you can reorder the rows by dragging and dropping them along with virtualization. Next to the charts component, sorting feature has been newly added. So now you can sort the charts data points either in an ascending or descending order, and also you can perform sorting based on either based on x-axis or y-axis as well. So we have the examples for all these features in our demo page as well as in our documentation page. For few of the controls, for few of the features, I'll show a demo after completing this Blazor updates. So okay, so next moving on to the next feature, tooltip performance. Performance has been improved in showing the tooltip for such large amount of data and live updates. So that is just an performance kind of improvement. And to the diagram component, auto scroll support for nodes has been added. So now the diagram area will get scrolled whenever you move the nodes beyond the boundary of that diagram space. And next to the scheduler component, this is just an improvement, not a very big feature, but the horizontal scroll bar used to display at the bottom of the timeline views, even if all the time slots were displayed within the viewport. I mean, we have removed it as a built-in option. Sorry for that. So yeah. So as I was saying, the horizontal scroller has been removed in the timeline views now. Next, moving on to the another improvement added to the scheduler component. That is nothing but the filter query. So whenever you might be work with the OData API and all those stuff. So now we have added the we are providing the built-in API so that what it allows is it allows the user to construct the filter query automatically by making use of the scheduler's start date, end date, and recurrence rule information. So you can find the example for this particular topic in our documentation page. So a new API has been introduced for this particular feature. And next to the file upload component, now the component has been optimized to handle larger file size now. Even you can upload a file size of 2 GB or larger. And great update in the file upload. So whoever wants to handle the larger files, so this will be very useful for them. And to the file manager component, directory upload support has been added. So you can either upload the directory from the option that is available in the toolbar, or you can even drag and drop the directories directly from the system into it. So again, if maybe your directory can contain more number of files and folders. So whatever it is, so you can just drag and drop them directly by making use of this support. And next to the word processor component, so there are 4 new features added. So this is applicable for both Blazor as well as Essential JS2. So continuous section break support has been added. So with this, now you can include multiple sections on the same page. And you can even customize each of the sections, like setting different margins for each of the sections within the same page is possible now. So here in this image, you can see this is one section. You can see the section break added after this first paragraph. So now a single page can have multiple sections. And drag and drop selected content. So you can also select a particular sentence and then move it from one place to another. So the drag and drop selected content is all about that particular action. So again, it gives a better user experience. And next, show or hide bookmarks. So previously, you won't be able to see any visual representation about how the I mean, whether you will not be able to see either the bookmark is present in that particular page or not. Now we have provided an option to show or hide the bookmarks. So it is usually represented within the square brackets like that. If the option is chosen to show. And then the next update for word processor is we know the word processor component generates SFDT file. So now the SFDT file size has been optimized so that the file size has been reduced a lot. So you can so now you can avail the benefits like you can transfer you can see a very fast transfer rate, file transfer rate um, due to this, and as well as it just occupies a very less storage with this particular support. Now moving on to the Gantt chart component, a new feature critical path has been added. So critical path is nothing but a task or a collection of a chain of tasks that is considered to be a critical thing for the project success. Say if that critical path is getting delayed, which means if that particular tasks are getting delayed, then there are chances that then it means that the project will get delayed due to that. So you can with this feature, you can highlight the tasks that are critical to the project success. So here in this image, you can see the ones that are marked in red are said can be said as in the critical path. And next, the template support has been added to the timeline and indicator tooltips. So now you can customize them by adding the custom elements or whatever content you want to add into the tooltips in the Gantt chart. And next to the pivot table component, we have added the paging support. So the paging support, it's a little bit different when compared to the grid component. So here you can see two pages, one for row and another for columns. So you can navigate through them and set the page size for rows as well as columns. So you can make use of it for displaying the large amount of data. So you can have a view in a page by page view. You can get through this. And okay, so next to the progress bar component, now you can customize the width and color of the secondary progress, which you can see here. So you can customize them now with this support. So this is one feature added to progress bar. And next to the rich text editor component, tooltip improvements has been made. So the appearance of the tooltips has been improved a lot, and also to give more clarity and better user experience. The additional information like what are the shortcuts for that particular commands, everything has been updated in the tooltip. So this is one such improvements made to the tooltip component. Sorry, tooltip improvements made in the rich text editor component. And next to the range slider component, now you can render the range slider in a reverse direction. Say for example, from bottom to top, previously you could have rendered from 0 to 100. Now you can render from 100 to 0. So this you can display this in a reverse direction. And to the heat map chart component, template support has been added to the tooltip displayed in heat map chart. So not only the text and images, but you can also add any custom content or components into it. And next to these three components, autocomplete, combo box, and drop-down list components, virtual scrolling improvements has been made. So previously, some infinite scrolling kind of things were available in these components. So now it has been improved and made to load the large amount of data. So as in when you scroll through the list, so you can get the good scrolling experience, and also you can see the mask. Excuse me. So you can see the skeleton layout that are displaying when you scroll through the list. So to give a very smoother and good experience while scrolling through the data. So that's all about the Blazor updates. And now let's see the Essential JS2 updates for Volume 1 2023. So a new ribbon control has been added. So it came with built-in features like the built-in items that you could see, like the buttons, and even you can have a look at the checkbox, drop-down color picker, and so on. So many items are added as a uh, built-in items. So also there are two modes available, like the simplified mode and the classic mode. It comes with the built-in tooltip support, and you can handle the file related actions through the file menu. And also built-in template support has also been added to the ribbon control. So let's see the demo for added for this ribbon control at last. And then in the Essential JS2 platform, rating control has been moved to production ready. And some important updates for our view components. So now all our view components are allowed to utilize the provide and inject variables inside the templates. So previously it was not possible to utilize these variables. Now you can make use of them, and all our Syncfusion view components are compatible with Nux3, PNPM, and the Vitest testing frameworks. And also, you would have made use of this view class component package whenever you create a view example with our components. So now that package dependency has been removed, and you can you can use our components without this dependency package now. So these are the three unique updates for our view components. And next to the charts component, now you can place the labels at the center for the pie chart and donut charts. So even if you hover over the pie slices, the label of that particular slice will also be displayed at the center of this chart. And you can even customize the height and color of the error bar. So you can see the error bars displayed here. Now you can customize the height and color of these error bars. And a new chart type has been introduced for all the Essential JS2 platforms, Angular, React, Vue, and also that is range step area. So using this chart, now you can display the difference between the minimum and maximum values across the time period. So again, you can have a look at this example from our demo page. And next to the data grid component, some new operators have been introduced in the search and filter UI. So already you might have used the default operators like equal, greater than or equal, like that. So in addition to that, few of the new operators are added, like does not contain, is null, is not null, is not like, which means that if you want to filter or search for a particular item that does not contain a specific keyword or phrase like that, so you can make use of these new operators to perform some precise and required searches on the data that you want. And next, another feature has been added to the data grid in EJ2 platforms, which is nothing but auto fitting the columns with empty space. So the thing is, now the grid renders the columns based on the width that you provide to that particular columns in the column configuration at the code side. So say for example, if your grid width is of 1000 pixel and you have 5 columns, and if you provide 100 pixel for each of those 5 columns, so the grid will be rendered only for the overall sum of for 500 pixel. So the columns will get rendered for 500 pixel, and the rest of the space will be left as empty space like this. So that is all about this auto fit columns with empty space feature. Again, you can have a look at this in demo page as well as in the documentation. And next to the circular gauge, the RTL support has been added. So now you can see the entire, you can render the entire circular gauge and along with its tooltip and legend features in right to left direction. So based on the culture, you can make use of it. And to the file manager component, virtual scrolling support has been added, which helps you to load large number of files and folders in it with no performance issues. Next to the Gantt chart, now you can drag and drop tasks between different resources in a resource view. So previously you can't you are not allowed to drag and drop task from one resource to another, but now with this support, you can do it. And to the image editor component, undo and redo support has been added. So the thing, basically all the actions that you perform on the image editor will be saved as an object in array collection. So based on the actions that are available in that array collection, undo and redo support is provided. And then a pinch zoom support has been added. So now when you want to zoom in or zoom out the images, you can make use of your two fingers and pinch the in touch devices, you can make use of this pinch zoom to zoom in and zoom out. And the mouse wheel zoom, again, when you press the control key and along with the mouse wheel, you can perform the zoom in and zoom out options. And now coming to the maps component, you can customize the zoom toolbar. So here you can see the few icons and buttons available, even the tooltip that displays when you hover over these buttons. So you can customize them now easily with the built-in option. And next, you can see the markers here. Now you are allowed to drag and drop these markers and drag these markers, and you can drop them in the desired location. Even the events will also trigger for these kind of actions when you perform drag and drop of markers. And next to the progress bar component, again, this is same update as we saw for the Blazor. So you can customize the width and color of the secondary progress area. And in addition to that, now you can display the tooltips during the initial load of the progress bar, as well as when you hover the progress area. So next to the rich text editor component, the same which we saw for Blazor is applicable here as well. Tooltip improvements has been made. And to the scheduler component, XSS cross-site security option has been added, which means that the appointment, whenever someone adds appointment in the scheduler, the subject field is prone to some which means that someone can even add the untrusted script into it. So now the security option has been done in our source to handle that. So there is a built-in property available to handle this. And the filter query support is same as what we discussed for the Blazor. The same applies for timeline views without scroller as well. And the next thing is spanned events and timeline view. So with this support, previously, whenever we create a longer appointment that spans for 3 days, in timeline year views, it will be created as 3 appointments in each of these cells. So not for days, actually it is for months, sorry. So for each of the on each of these cells, it will be created as a separate appointment. Now it has been rectified and modified to create as a single appointment for this entire 2 months. So that's all about the updates for Essential JS2 features and the Blazor. So that's all about from my end. So thank you all for joining this webinar today.